All right, we are live. Okay, and welcome everybody to another edition of Japan Thursdays here. If you don't know who I am, you probably know now. My name is Akasan. I am also known as the Prince of Reactors, aka Little Refill. That was a new nickname I got today while getting some ramen. Right before this little thing. So, someone who I have known for quite some time, for even before I was doing YouTube, I suppose, even before I moved to Japan or so. But we kind of stayed in, got in touch here, got to know each other, and have met one time, but have almost talked just every week or so about Japan stuff, about YouTube stuff. And somehow, somewhere along the line this week, it has all sort of come together, and it was this person's great idea to make a video for Japan Thursdays. Ladies and gentlemen, and it's my honor to introduce you to someone who I will always consider well and far beyond someone as myself. Ladies and gentlemen, Unrested.
Oh, you flatter me. Yes. Hello, everyone. I am Unrested.
You're so simple about it. Just, I love it. I love it. Okay. So, I mean, Unrested, for those of you that don't, for those that may not know, please tell a little bit about yourself.
Oh, your sound cut out for a second.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, just for those who may not know, and then it cut out. What do you got for me again?
Please, just go ahead. Well, first and foremost, there you go.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
I was a little delayed. I'm learning these effects as I go, but I'll get into it. Okay, so please tell us a little bit about yourself here.
I am Unrested. I have gone by the channel name Unrested for almost 9 years now. I've been doing videos on Japan, anything and everything. My most popular show is JFAQ, Japan's Frequently Asked Questions, in which people write in about anything and everything they could ever ask about Japan, from like red light districts to just basically how to get a job in a hotel room or something. I've moved also into doing scary stuff, which is called Osoroshi Saturday, which just literally means like scary Saturday. And it's just scary stuff from Japan. If you like horror movies, creepypasta, urban legends, etc., etc., that's your type of show. And then I have a new show that I started this year that's actually, it's doing pretty good. It's doing as well as JFAQ, called Unrestology. And that's where I can talk about anything and everything I want and just kind of wax existential.
I like it. And that's one of the things that actually a lot of people don't realize is, and I think you said it best one time, this was a few years ago or so when there was another sort of drama going on with YouTube. And that's the fact that sometimes YouTubers just need, for them, using YouTube is actually a cathartic sort of method for people to just so they can speak out and talk to people out on the outside. A lot of people don't realize is that how alone you really can be living in Japan as a YouTuber. And so YouTube is actually a huge vehicle to do that. I was, the only reason I even got into YouTube was the fact that I was just bored and I wanted to start using it. But we'll talk about that a little later with the topic matter. But I guess what we're going to be talking about a little bit about Japan, but also with this reaction thing that you had some questions for me about, and was kind of curious about how it all kind of came together, and with what's been going on with the Fine Brothers in React world. It's really I guess brought reaction channels into the forefront now internationally. In Japan, but all over the world. It's been on Reddit. And like anybody that's anyone in the blogosphere of internet has been talking about it, right? Did I cut out again?
Oh, that's my... That's no. That was my bathtub was talking at the same time. If nobody knows, bathtubs talk in Japan. So my bathtub was just letting me know that water is hot and you can use hot water now.
That is technology. His cyborg bathtub is letting him know.
That's Skynet taking over my house. Yeah. The whole controversy is crazy, man. Holy smokes. So that's what I wanted to get into tonight. I wanted to, because when I first tuned into you, one of the big things that turned me on to your channel first off was shit Japanese people say.
Right.
One of the funniest videos I've ever seen on
Thank you,
YouTube in
thank you.
general.
It's actually my most viewed video on my channel, and second to that is me opening up a box, a Dragon Ball box. So ironically, even though that ironically, and I'm not even bullshitting you, like most people believe that I live off of reactions or that I came around doing reactions, but no, my channel was always like just kind of doing these like sort of fluke videos that started to go viral for some reason, and the shit that Japanese people say to foreigners is one of them. That's my biggest video with almost 500,000 views. And then my second one, which I did a few months ago, which was me opening up one of those Dragon Ball Z Scouters. I didn't even think much of it. I was just doing it because for another video, and I was like, let me do an unboxing, but it just went off, and
You never know.
you never know. So, and then after
you
that,
never know what's gonna.
what I was just gonna say, all my other reaction stuff is really low. It's under 100,000 views, most of them and such, and a lot of them, like you can't predict it. Like you said, it's only depends upon how popular that subject matter is, or what people, like people like to say. So
My most popular video is the dark side of Japan, which is all like the most negative aspects of Japan.
right.
Anybody who's watched my channel knows it's like upbeat, positive, almost always 100%, upbeat about Japan and talking about things people are excited about. But
Right.
for a couple episodes, I did dark side of Japan, which is everything from like hikikomori, which is like shut-ins, people who never leave their house, suicide forest, aokigahara. And that is my number one, over like 100,000 views, which is a lot for me. That's a lot for me.
Let me see. I think that, well, I was going to say the video that I ran into you, the one I discovered you, the first video must have been the Mira, Rachel and June, your thoughts on it. Yeah. Believe it or not, that's actually the one. Like, I think I was like, when I first saw it, I'm like, who's this dude, like in Japan with all the tattoos? I'm like, oh shit, okay, let me check it, let me look into this a little bit more. And so I started looking into it, and I liked what I saw, so I subscribed after that. So yeah.
Oh wow, that video. I actually took that video down. I've actually sworn off all drama for the future. I'll never get into it again. Maybe.
Yeah, you want to talk about the reaction drama?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Right. And then what is it about that? Because on top of that, I think I came to your channel later than I came to like Victor's. Give me a break, man. Give me a flake, man. Mira, Rachel and June, all of them, like all these J vloggers. I came into it a little later, but it was never. It was always the drama that actually, I guess, got people clicking, and such as myself looked into it. But then we saw that there was other stuff. Or I saw that there was other stuff that could be offered and stuff. Same thing with Tikio Sam. The main video, the first video I think I ever saw of him was him screaming in the camera saying, "Teaching English in Japan sucks," like that. But come to find out, he actually had some other stuff, him crying over his students and things like that. Like, so, there's kind of what catches you to a channel, or what draws people to a channel, and then what's actually the full content of a channel. So yeah,
it's very true. Yeah, I actually, you want to hear what gets most people to watch my channel? The first thing that comes up is the video where Quick Rhino quit doing YouTube.
Yes. Yeah.
And everybody joins my channel because of that. He quit because he decided he quit because of me, which I understand. I don't know if I'm going to take responsibility for that, but he quit because of me. And everybody's like, so I saw that video and I thought, wow, you're such an asshole. But I clicked and you're not an asshole. And I was like, oh, thanks, I guess.
That's so, you know what? That's so funny, because I can relate on that. One, I can relate because one of my subscribers, when I was saying something about I'm going to Osaka one time, I'm going to try to work with Unrested, somebody was like, man, fuck that Unrested dude. He got Quick Rhino to quit. And I was like, huh? Like, I know this dude. Like, I've seen the drama. I'm like, nah, that dude chose to quit. That dude chose to leave on his own. I'm just like, but I can relate to that, because it's the same reason people, the grade A under A, when he did that video talking about reaction channels are shit, I'm actually like, I guess my video is right under that. My response to his video is right under that. And even though I agreed with most of his points, even though I really applauded his video and I liked the production, I liked everything he did, there's actually more dislikes on that video than likes, because people just basically went dislike and that was it. And plus they didn't want to sit through a 45-minute review or response, even though Grade A has said my reaction or a response to it, he's enjoyed, and or he said it was the right way to go about it. And it's just really funny. So you'll see, you go into that video and you'll see a mixed comments where people will be like, yeah, you know, you actually gave input, you actually gave a good response and a good critique, and you actually saw that there's actually points where you can improve your channel. I'm really surprised that everybody's just shitting on you. It's
Yeah, I
I
have
guess how it
one. I have
works.
a video. It's got a lot of views. It's got the most dislikes of any of my videos, and it says, "Why is Give Me a Break Man an asshole?"
Yeah,
And
I remember that one.
yeah, and it's literally defending him
Right.
nonstop. That people ask so many dumb questions like, "How's the weather in Japan?" I don't know. What part of Japan are you asking about? Like, what's the exchange rate? I don't know. It changes every day. And like, I'm like, that's why he's an asshole, because you're asking, there is such thing as stupid questions. It's the one that's already been answered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and I'm defending him for that, and people are just like, screw you, man. He's awesome. And it's like, did you watch the video? I defend him the whole
Oh
video. Like,
God,
yeah. So
you don't even want to know how often. Like, even going back to that grade A under A response, people are just like, I thought this was the official video dislike like that. I'm like, oh, so you didn't read the part where it actually said response, or like you didn't like you couldn't tell from the first second. Like, come on now, like.
well, speaking of which, let's
Yeah,
let's
let's
kind
get
of
into it.
break people into it if they don't know. So, first of all, what would you even consider in your definition? What is a reaction channel?
I would say a reaction channel. I mean, there's several different types of reaction channels, but the ones that we know of today at this point is basically an upfront, impromptu result or feeling of someone watching a video of whatever it could be. It could be about the news. It could be about a particular skit. In general, it used to be, and it really started off as just people trailer reactions, so basically having like a nerdgasm or a fangasm, something like that. People really enjoyed those a lot, and that's the way it kind of, the reaction channels sort of started that way. Was just fans watching other fans essentially their upfront first response sort of you can't, because you can never take that back. You can, you can have responses to it afterwards, but after, nothing beats that first response. And some people really like to see how people take it. Some people take it really well. Some people take it, like myself, really bad if I watch Batman v Superman or something. And that's kind of what's fun about it, is because it's like this impromptu survey across the world. You can see all these different people and what their reaction. It's like a testing market. Like I used to go on these things when I was a kid called surveys, and I would get paid $50 to answer questions or test different things out. That's kind of, to me, what reaction channels used to be about, and was just fans of something or people that had some sort of interest, just seeing their reaction, unedited, unrestricted, unrested, and as is. But from somewhere, I'd say somewhere around July, September or so, around that time, quite some time ago, there was a lot of opportunity. It was basically after The Force Awakens came out, the first trailer. When the first trailer for The Force Awakens came out, there was a guy, as you already know, Tyrone Magnus, who he had about 55,000 subscribers at that time. He was still, I think at that time, was still one of the top reactors, but we never really thought of it. It wasn't really a thing at that time. It was just some people's channels. They just happened to be showcasing their reactions, but it wasn't really like a structured thing. But once that trailer first came out, his reaction went insanely viral. It was all over the news. It was all over international television, everywhere. His reaction was just like he blew up after that. He went from 55,000 to 77,000 to 100,000. Like at that time, getting that sort of increase, a subscriber count increase, was actually a really big thing. But he was loved by all, hated by few, or respected by all. And that's what happened. Like there became this huge change in the air after that, as companies, studios really started to see this as like, oh damn, like the hype is real. And they actually encouraged reactors, or people at that time, we weren't even called reactors, but basically it started to become a thing of like to put people together and see what their reactions could be to movie trailers. So it still became like, it was still a movie trailer type of thing, but where that sort of fan community was great, whenever something like that happens, you know, there's always going to be some sort of form of imitation, or some sort of form of saturation. And what happened was more formats to this reaction sort of thing went beyond movie trailers. It started getting into just anything on Facebook or anything on YouTube. And since it was so easy to just grab something from YouTube and react to it, because of this the copyright claim thing is such a mess and such gray matter, that then the reaction channels started to form. These opportunist reactions, our reactors would come around and basically just rip off of everything, anything and everything, because of the third-party copyright claims are just such a mess. But it's much easier to avoid dealing with movie studios and things like that, and just start pulling off stuff from other fellow YouTubers. And then that's when it kind of got blown out of proportion. And started showing up in people's news feeds, because, you know, when you go to YouTube, you go into the search bar, which is also a Google search bar, you search for a certain channel, or you search for something you're interested in. Let's say I want to see big booty Asian girls twerking. Those are the keywords I search for in YouTube. So I'm going to get big booty Asian girls twerking as one of my results. But this is where it gets kind of messed, and this is the problem people have with a lot of reaction channels, is the fact that if you're one of these opportunist reactors, or somebody will just take anything and everything, you might be a fan of big booty Asian girls, I don't know, but that's not something you thought of like making a reaction, like to actually put that on your channel. It's clickbait, so to speak. So you search for big booty Asian girls twerking, you'll see the original video, but right under that, you're going to see the same title and reaction.
Okay. Well, so then that kind of segues really well into what question I had next, which you pretty much got into what makes a good and what makes a bad reactor. So would you say, and I'm just taking this from kind of what I've understood from you, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. A good reactor is somebody who goes after the things that they have like a personal connection to, or a background in, or like a kind of emotional raw connection to begin with. And whereas a bad reactor just grabs anything and everything just so they can copy that title and get clickbait.
I would say, you know, judging by the way I kind of stated that, yeah, I would say that's a one way to assess that, but I do think it is subjective at this time. Like, you know, there was a time when the original, kind of like original reactors, like the people that were just fans of stuff, were really skeptical and really wondering about this kind of style of just grabbing anything and everything and reacting to anything and everything. And I still am, to be honest, quite honest, I still don't agree with those practices. I have friends, or I should say alliances or associates, that base their entire channel off of reacting to bigger YouTubers. I don't agree with that practice, but they see otherwise. And that is kind of why it's a mess where it is right now, because there is kind of two sides of this. But in terms of good reactor, bad reactor, I guess you could just say it's really subjective.
It's a tough subjective call,
yeah,
but in your opinion.
Right, because because you can't really say, like, people say that people would say I'm a bad reactor, because I haven't gone ape shit over the Batman v Superman trailers. People said I was a bad reactor because when the first time I saw Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne, I did this kind of like thing, and people flipped their fucking lid. But what's the difference? What's a reaction? Like, you're not like, just because that's one of the reasons I title my stuff Honest Reactions, because an honest reaction doesn't mean that I always am going to agree with your feeling about something. So, you know, some
So
people
they
would
say
say,
it's a bad reaction, but really it's a disagreement of opinion.
right, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't I can't really say like what personally for me, and this just comes down to a personal way of the way I see the world and the way I see where these reactions are, is there's people that were fans of something and have been trying to play by the rules for a very long time. You know, I sit here for 40 minutes to 60 minutes sometimes editing my TV show reactions, Game of Thrones, Flash, Arrow when I have the chance, things like that. And I just put out something that I feel happy and proud about, that I can say, look, I did this. I made something really nice. The studio is usually happy with it. Sometimes they block the damn thing, even though I spent that much time on it. And like, I feel like I'm still playing in the rules of what is considered a good standing YouTube channel, and also being a good reactor. And then there's the other side where there's channels that will just grab things with like whatever, no thought process in terms of maybe the original person isn't going to be cool with this, you know, and put it on their channel and then deal with the consequences later. And then I think that's where it falls into that. Personally, as a personal thing for me, I don't think that's right. I think that's actually
Well,
pretty,
see,
yeah. Go ahead.
well, I think, okay, so I'm just going to say my personal opinion as far as like what I think, and I think there's a very clear separation. Um, the difference I feel between a good reactor and a bad reactor is a good reactor is somebody who chooses and selects stuff that they already have background information on, therefore adding to the quality of the video you're already watching. For example, if you perchance watch something that is related to DC or Marvel, you know enough about those universes that you can comment on them and say, oh, what about this? I wonder if this guy is going to be in it, and I wonder if this guy's backstory is going to be in it. And then the person might actually learn something more about those characters in the movie before they even watch it and enjoy it even more so. Whereas people who just randomly grab random stuff on YouTube just because it's big hits and, you know, big views,
Right.
just because they want to use stuff that they know a lot of people want to watch, that's where I feel like it's abusing the reaction thing, where they're just like, well, I know everybody wanted to watch this, or everybody did watch this, or everybody, you know, was really a big fan of this video, so I'll just throw it on here and do my reaction because I know they'll get to see this and they'll get to see me. Whether they really believe that the people are watching them for the reaction or not, I guess could totally be up for discussion. But
Right.
the fact is that they're not coming into it with any extra background information that ups the quality of the video or gives us more insight into the video. And I feel like that's what really separates the good and the bad, is the people who their reaction not only gives you that, you know, you're there with a best friend type of feeling, like Tyrone explains, which I think is a really great explanation of why some people watch reactions, is they want to see what a friend reacts or how a friend reacts, or it's like watching with a friend.
Right.
But on top of it, it adds to the experience of not only watching that, but possibly even the future viewing experience of the trailer related to the movie.
I agree. I'd agree with what the points that you're making. I think the majority of people generally do see it that way as well, is that you generally should have some sort of background knowledge on that. There are some instances though that the requests are just so high, and certain things are people want to see, like I said, it goes back to the survey idea of like a test market type of thing, where people just want to know what your thoughts is going to be. Like, for example, I did a reaction to the Dear Black People song, the Dear White People song, the Dear Mexican People song. And you know, I have no background background information on this, but it was very entertaining, and people are interested to see how I would react to some of the racial stereotypes being thrown around. So there are those exceptions to the rule, but I do agree with you. As again, going back to what we like to call the opportunist reactor, is just grabbing things just because they're popular, because they know it agitates, it'll aggregate the views, and again, that's kind of why we have the problem we did. Tyrone said it best like a few months ago, 5 months ago. He's like, this never was a problem with these channels before these sort of opportunist reactors kind of came around and started abusing the SEO terms to gain views, to gain subs. And before, people were just really chill. They were just like, cool, okay, movie trailers, a little bit here, a little bit there. Wasn't the entire network of YouTube. And that's where this we have this really controversial problem, because nobody really understands the way Google works. Nobody really understands the way YouTube works, and what's legal, what's not legal, and what's considered like some people use this bullshit explanation of it's free promotion, man.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. I think if, to me personally, it seems like even YouTube doesn't know what the rules are.
No, I don't think they do.
And
I really don't. Yeah, no.
and their own algorithms don't know what the rules are, and their bots that just randomly flag stuff don't know what the rules are. I mean, as far as I can tell, they don't really have a steady, streamlined system, especially after they fused with Google. It just became even more of a mess. Um, you know, even my channel, which I don't really react to anything aside from maybe like news articles, if you want to count that, I've gotten flagged with a copyright strike before because I did a video telling what I thought was not true about Japan from another video on YouTube. And I was literally going through piece by piece of that video, breaking it down, pausing it, taking the audio out so that I could be like, yeah, this doesn't exist, you know, because they always have, so many people have these videos that are like 25 weird things about Japan. And you're like, yeah, none of this stuff exists in Japan. This isn't real. Okay. There's not like panty vending machines on every corner. And I got hit with a copyright strike. And you know what their excuse was that I had put the brand name of their video, which is not like a sold brand name or anything that you can buy, in the background of my video. So like their logo of their channel was in, but it's like, how do I show your video and use the fair use laws, which say you can do commentary on any video on YouTube and not show your, like, so I'm just like, this mysterious channel that I'm complimenting or commenting on, like what?
Right?
Yeah, then why would I even do the video? It doesn't make any sense. Like,
Right.
so yeah, the whole system's broken. I mean, I of course contested that and was knocked down right away, which I'm sure you've probably had to do this before too, contest stuff.
One of the main reasons I actually had to join a multi-channel network, at MCN, is because of the fact that all my monetization was taken away. I was hit by too many copyrights, ironically by just some random person in India. Had nothing to do with the actual video.
Yeah.
And it was just too much for Google, and they lost trust in me. And then, ironically, it was actually Mira who told me the only way that would actually go away, the monetization thing, is your videos have to start putting in a lot more videos, views, basically, and then YouTube will finally be like, okay, it's actually a legit channel. But I just joined an MCN, and that was the only way I could get my monetization back. So yeah. So yeah, you're right. It's all a mess.
It's a total mess. It's a total mess. So that gets us into the whole mess of not only that, not only copyright strikes, but channels recently. And what spurred this on? Like out of nowhere, I just started seeing these videos like attacking reactor channels, which I can understand their dislike for some of these reactors. I'm not going to mention any names because I don't know if you want me to, but
no, I mean, you can like, it's fine. Like, I don't care. Like, just. Yeah, it's fine. Like, it's better. I rather you be as what's the word I'm looking
uncensored?
for? Yeah, uncensored as possible. It's fine. Just sometimes I have to be careful, like what I say. Sadly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so like for example, I can understand people's problems with Jinx, and I don't remember what the other guy's name was, where he's like, this is his don't laugh video, and he just sits there and like doesn't make any emotional like content added to the video at all. It's just like, he didn't laugh. Wow, great, awesome. I mean, I understand, but at the same time, it's like, if and I myself, I can look at these videos and be like, yeah, this is not something that entertains me. But I always feel like who are you to choose what should and shouldn't be on a channel if it gives somebody joy?
Right.
Like, that's the best part about YouTube, is it lets us escape our life for a little
Right.
bit. And
Right.
it may be the worst damn video ever. I don't want to watch ASMR videos. I don't want to watch brony videos. I don't want to watch box opening videos. I don't want to watch toy videos. I don't want to watch little kids nursery rhyme videos. But I'm not going to be like, screw these, they suck, because I hate them. Like, personally, like,
Right.
you know, they don't add anything to my life. They don't make my life better. They maybe some could even argue they don't add anything to YouTube. But if they give somebody joy out there, if they let somebody sleep for those ASMR videos, if they, you know, like, why should we restrict anything aside from something being just like outright like offensive or like, you know,
Right. I was gonna say,
cyberbullying?
because people love watching porn, but that's not allowed on YouTube. So it gives people joy. So there's
Yeah, yeah, but I'm saying within the bounds of, like, you know, if a kid's gonna go on there, because kids do watch YouTube, let's be honest,
oh
we have
god.
to keep it
Yeah.
somewhat censored. You know,
Right.
like that. I understand that aspect. I can be like, well, like, look, you know, we have kids YouTube, but not every parent's there to stop their kid from getting on. So just to be safe for ourselves, we're gonna, you know, limit a certain level of, like, you know, nudity, violence, etc. Which I understand. I can justify that. I can see how they can justify that due to lawsuits and everything.
Right.
But as far as people being like, I hate this, this guy just sits here and just reacts, it's such bullshit. Like, it's like, well, you don't like it. Okay, great. You know, and like I said too, these channels that hate reaction videos, they're reacting like that. You know, I hate, you know, I love these channels too. I love iDubbbz. I hate everything. I
Yeah,
like
it's actually, they're
Leafy.
really well done. Actually, those videos are, especially iDubbbz. Actually, like I laugh a lot at his shit, and like as someone who creates videos and such, like to think about how long it takes for someone like him, or I hate everything, or for that's argument's sake, grade A, under A as well. All of these guys actually making it's a lot harder than just, you know, sitting in front of a camera hitting record like myself, Boogie does, you know, putting this content together. It's hard, but okay, as you were saying, because I know what I'm gonna
Well,
say.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, I like, you know, iDubbbz. Quite honestly, I feel like the guy's like a comedic genius. Like, he's
yeah.
on this like spectrum, but he's a genius. Like, you know,
I
like
saw
that.
his
That's great.
Japanese unboxing, and that shit was so fucking funny. Like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, like, I get it, and like, but at the same time, I hate everything. You're talking about how you react to hating stuff. Your reaction is you are hating everything. Like I said, grade A, under A is annoyed by everything. His reaction is
right.
he's annoyed by everything. I mean, maybe iDubbbz's the only one we could be like, he's, I don't know, like totally wacky for everything. I mean, he's pretty unique on everything that
Well,
he does.
I will say, in some, not really defense of those channels, like a lot of it is supposed to, and I hate everything was the first to admit it, um, is that a lot of this was just some form of like satire in a way, or just like there's this one dude that did the Internet Hall of Fame or something like that, and
Oh,
I actually,
Gamer from Mars, Gamer
there you
from
go.
Mars.
So he did one on reaction videos or something like that, and I actually really complimented him on that, because I was like, "Fuck, man! Like, I would like to actually be part of, like, if I could have the ability, if I had that honor of actually being in one of his videos like that, I'd be like, you know what, it's cool." And same thing with I Hate Everything. When I saw it, I was just like, you know what, it's like, okay, it's funny. It made some good points. Same thing with grade A, under A. And this is I think where things got out of hand, is the fact that, yes, maybe they have a little bit of a problem with it, maybe, or whatever, but at the same time, they actually do have some valid points. And if you can't see that, well, then you're lost in that. And I think it's one of those things where it, like, for reactors, certain reactors, it actually did. It hurt them hard. It hurt their feelings really hard, in the fact that they got called out on some shit. A lot of it was true. And then they overreacted, no pun intended, but they overreacted to it childishly. And then, you know, what happens when you pick on the person picking you? They just come back harder on you, and then that's where it started to get even more out of control. So You know,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you make them more relevant if you
yeah,
hate back on them.
exactly,
I mean,
exactly. If you respond in a way, if you respond in a way uh, to someone's video or to someone's tweet or whatever, you're actually giving them more attention and validating what they're saying because you got butt hurt over it, basically. And you know, so like, you know, fucking Grade A called me a pedophile in his video. Like, or he compared me to being like being my people call me some people call me the prince of reactors, and he's like, you know, are saying since I'm part of the big four of reactors, he said he compared it to being called being a pedophile and being proud of it, right? And so or I don't know what he I don't even know what he said.
you don't play Minecraft. How could you be a pedophile? No, I shouldn't even say that. I love Minecraft. Everybody, I love Minecraft.
So
Minecraft's awesome.
so with that being said, but I was like I thought it was fucking funny. Like I was like, oh my god, and like I liked it. Like, but if I wanted to do it about it the wrong way, I would have made a fucking 15-minute video like fuck you, motherfucker, fuck you. But that only shows that maybe you are actually kind of insecure about what you're doing on your channel, and maybe
That's true. That's
you
somewhere in
know,
the back of their mind. They feel guilt.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's very true.
you
Well,
will
I think
always well what the thing I was just gonna say is like we do this and I hate everything says this about Rashad the reactor is that Rashad took the bait. I don't know in your research if you actually saw this, but Rashad like I hate everything made this video talking about reactors or what he calls reactionists, and you know, some took it in good heart. People like, okay, it's funny. Like, okay, I get the point. I'm gonna try and do better. But Rashad went off like crazy and actually made it a lot worse. Like he actually was trying to make fun of I hate everything, and he ended up saying, okay, I'm done busting your chops. Time to make money off your hard work. Let's react. And from that moment in time, you could hear unanimous face palms from every other reactor around the world, just like, he did not just fucking say that, because we knew that sampler was going to be used further along the line. I guarantee it's going to be in Grade A's video coming up this weekend or whatever. Because like I said, it's some form of like some in the back of your mind or in the back of some people's mind. They're like, God damn, it hit a nerve because maybe for them, they feel it's true part of that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's
but to make your in terms of why these hate videos came out, you know, because like I said, because these reactors overreacted to it, they felt hurt about it, and it blew it even more out of proportion than it should have. Like if you like,
do you feel jealousy played a part of it? Because like I wondered that too. Like I noticed how big Jinx blew up, and I noticed how big some of these other guys blew up super fast. And I think honestly, I think that's also another reason why they reacted the way they did, because anyone who's been around on YouTube long enough
true,
knows
they don't know how to
react to the trolls. You
handle
don't
it.
feed the yeah. And I mean, I think that really showed their inexperience because
Right.
you know, I just made my own video about my biggest haters. I don't name a single hater in the video. I just talk about what they've done because I think it's funny. Like, but I number one, I see that, like I see the inexperience coming through because of that. But do you feel like from the guys who made these videos, a lot of them are feeling like jealous of the level of subs they got that fast, and maybe even, but I don't know. I hear a back and forth on like the level of money they make. Some people say they don't make money because the people take their money when they claim the video and stuff. But
right. Well, the first answer to that is that if you're still doing movie trailers and movie shows, all that stuff gets claimed for a studio. Basically, the blanket statement I can give you is like big studios will claim it. So I'm basically making money for the WB every goddamn Tuesday. When I do a reaction to a show I actually like, I make money for the WB.
I hope they use it to their goddamn games. WB, come on, man. Games, dude.
So what I'm saying is, so for when it came to movie studios, and that's why there's been such a problem after that, is because there was no money to make in trailer reactions, studio reaction, anything like that, because you're making money for someone else. Hence why everyone, or I should say the opportunists, moved on to other sort of content that couldn't be claimed. That's why it became a big problem. So and so that's why a lot of like no, a lot of these reactors wouldn't even jump on trailer reactions when the day it drops or something because there's like no money to make there. It didn't matter. It's much easier to take money or to take videos from Facebook or YouTube where unexperienced YouTubers are, and even big YouTubers like PewDiePie, KSI, or whatever, don't really know anything about how to claim a video. And so I've always said this is that, and I really wish they would. I really wish they would beef up Content ID. I really wish they would make Content ID available for every person that uploads something. And the moment that day happens, the moment these opportunist reactors, their videos start getting tagged third-party copyright claims for everything, we'll see how many stick around and do this for the love. You know, I would still continue to do it because I get hit with these third-party copyright claims all the time. I used to bitch and complain about it until Grade A Under A made a really good point in his first video about how if I tried to upload an entire movie, that's fucking theft, man. And so I was like, God damn, he's kind of right about that. And I really started rethinking my attitude into what I'm going to post on YouTube on my channel. Others don't see it that way. But yeah, in short, that's the blanket statement, is that if it's not owned by a company, a Korean license or some sort of company, you're basically, in most cases, making money. Vines get tagged by third-party copyright stuff, which I think is ridiculous because Vine's compilations don't even be that's in a sense some form of public domain. But
it is kind of funny that like he says if you put up a whole movie, that's stealing, man, but how many guys put up a whole entire game with every cutscene?
Yeah.
And then they're also reacting again, like, and I want to make that really clear that I think a lot of Let's Play channels are reaction channels. If you play a game like Two Souls or Heavy Rain or one of these interactive movie type games, that's not don't get me wrong, I think there's some games that take a lot of skill, like FPSs, you know, the COD community and stuff like that.
Right.
But a lot of these are just, you are fiddling with some buttons while you react. I mean, let's be honest, PewDiePie is a reactor. I love his channel. He's a great guy. His stuff's funny. He obviously does something right. He's got a good formula, but he's reacting. His reaction is he's scared. Like we get it, he screams, he falls out of his chair.
That's what made him famous. That's what made him popular, was playing scared games. His reactions to playing scared games is what put him on the map. Everything else he does now is, you know, I wouldn't say acidine, but it's not his claim to fame, basically. So yeah.
But I mean, I think he does really good upkeep on his image too, though. I mean, that
no, I agree. I think he's really good at that. That's why, and I don't think I ever, like, I never talked to you about this so much, but if anything, all this controversy you were asking about, it just all started with just 15-30 seconds from PewDiePie in a podcast one time. He just one day that you know what I'm talking about, that video that he did.
So this started because of his. I heard about that he was the first one. He called out some stuff, like he talked about how he didn't like prank channels, he didn't like some reaction channels and stuff like this. And
no, he just straight went for the jugular. Well, not so much, but he's just straight said reaction things he hates, and he was like reaction channels. And he mentioned Jinx because if you remember. Privately, you and I were talking about this a while back, of just trying to make sure that what Jinx was doing was valid, and his subscriber growth was legit, because you were the only big YouTuber I knew at that time. And I was like, hey man, I need some help. But PewDiePie took it even further and was just like, yeah, okay, there's this dude that's getting insane popularity. And PewDiePie was the one that really first instigated this entire thing of like saying that reaction channels or reaction videos is just bullshit. But as I also pointed out in the video, was his friend said, oh, maybe, you know, it's a good way, blah, 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 maybe you should try it. And PewDiePie was like, maybe I should try it. And what do we find out? Like a month later, he starts doing reaction videos every once in a while on some animes and such. And, you know, while we're on that subject of big YouTubers and what people compare us to, reactors and such, the Fine Brothers was always what the medium was to saying, oh, they have good content, they have actually they make their stuff transformative, and they actually you know, everybody for the longest time I kept on hearing that shit reaction channels need to be more like the Fine Brothers. Why don't you do more with like what the Fine Brothers are doing? Okay, so when the Fine Brothers start offering that package globally, everybody gets pissed off, and they lost a million subs.
I see multiple reasons behind the reason people got pissed off about that. Number one, they were, I mean, and there's just no nice way to say this, they were really dumb with how they worded that.
No,
Steal
absolutely.
our format. You see people blatantly steal your format, don't stand for it, like boycott their channel, shut them down. And it's like, motherfucker, we all turn on the camera, upload to YouTube. That is our format. Like,
I was really wondering. No, I really, like, when I first heard it, I was like, oh shit, he's talking about fucked up the reaction channels and shit. But then when I started listening to that more, I'm like, wait, is he specifically saying like people took the format of like this? Like, I've never seen a Fine Bros. I've never seen one of their videos ever in my life, so I couldn't really tell what they were alluding to, but I just assumed they were just talking about all reaction channels, because
well, no,
that's the hip thing to do.
You called it out best when you said, dude, it existed back in the 80s and 90s with I Love the 80s, I Love the 90s on MTV and VH1. And one thing another person pointed out to me, Dave Ronan, another J vlogger, is Japan has had the reaction channel thing going since the beginning of their TV.
Yes,
like
exactly. Yes, yes.
That's all Japan's ever done. Like their entire, and we were just talking about this before we went on air. Every single channel almost is a reaction video. It's Smap cooking an omelet.
Every day while you're living here in Japan, when you turn on the TV, it is basically a program of other people watching a program, giving their commentary, talking about it afterwards, and then they go to another segment and they put the only difference is the fact that the person talking or giving their commentary is in a small box, and the actual full content is and if I were to do that on YouTube, I'd be shut down like that. Like,
and that's that's the thing too. And they have it to a point that every single show almost has this tiny box. Like you're seeing me, I'm in the tiny box right now. I would say 90% of shows in Japan have that tiny box person, and they're there reacting, saying absolutely nothing. I mean, they're literally just like their faces slightly changing. Maybe they're not changing at all.
Like this, like like
I mean, let's be honest, 80% of the responses are
right.
Umai. And if everybody doesn't know, Sugoi means wow, that's cool. Umai means wow, it's really delicious. So, and you'll hear that like just nonstop, and it never changes. There's never a person, because Japan is so polite, there's never a person who's like, dude, what did you just cook me? This sucks. What the hell is this? Like, there's never a person who does that. There's never a person who's like, wow, this isn't cool at all. This is the most boring program I've ever watched in my life. I want to leave this show. Like, you know, it's never happened in all of Japanese history. Like, maybe a comedian's done like a spoof on it, but it's never actually happened. So, I mean, even worse, Japan does the same reaction to everything. And if you step out of line for that kind of stuff, you're probably not going to be invited back to a TV show. It's like the military, you know, there's great benefits, and you know, until you go AWOL, and then you go to jail. Like, you know?
right. No, I agree with you on that. But in terms of, like I was saying, like the point I didn't want to forget about is the thing about jealousy. I don't think it's jealousy, because there's like, I think it was just kind of like, for a while, it was just the kind of thing to jump on, like you know, in every sort of form of controversy. Like, I think Grade A, because I think if anybody, Grade A was probably the first one to really make it light. Like, I think he does actually have a legit problem with reaction channels, and I can kind of see where he's coming from. Like, if the extent of your first impressions to reaction channel was like the same first impression of me, I can't think of a good metaphor, but basically me tasting bad food or something, if I went to, I don't know.
How about this? If the first time you ate sushi, it wasn't in Japan, it was in America.
There you go. Exactly.
There you go.
Which I actually,
wow, sushi sucks.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, what the fuck? Like, and then
Well,
you
you had it in California, so it was a little
yeah,
bit better.
it
But
was actually. I was gonna say my sushi wasn't too bad.
I
But
had it in Florida.
okay,
So
there you go. So no, so if it was rubbery and it had no content and you didn't feel
yeah.
like basically you felt like there wasn't any content or any quality to it, and you saw that this is the way it is in Florida, that all sushi is like this, you're gonna basically be like, okay, sushi goddamn sucks, and you never got a chance to actually look into the where people that actually care about the content and the quality produced good stuff. But if you saw it all around your face everywhere, and it was in your inbox, in your sub box, in your news feed, recommended videos, because that's another thing about Google, which I really actually don't like, or I should say YouTube, is that I might click on one video and I hate it, but then that fucking channel is going to show up in my recommended videos for 2 to 3 weeks, and that that was a whole nother thing. Like I said, I would search for something like Mortal Kombat, and then suddenly I see like Mortal Kombat all fatalities reaction. So if you're not a fan of reaction channels, I can understand. Like I made this equivalent, or I made this comparison a while ago, was the fact that the way, because of this abuse of SEOs and such, reaction channels became the new Reply Girl. You remember Reply Girl,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, man, and people hate Reply
Yeah,
Girl. Holy hell.
that's basically the same thing. That's exactly what. So if you remember, you look at a video and then suddenly you see this bitch in the fucking corner, okay, she has something to say. She's gonna reply about it. So then I click on it. I'm like, okay, she's got titties. Good clickbait. I clicked on it. There's no content, no quality, nothing added to the original video. That's basically the way some people look at
Yeah.
reaction channels, and I don't blame them. To be honest, I don't blame them on that side.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, like I said, I mean, there are certain ones out there where it's obvious they've just gone for whatever's gotten the biggest views or whatever's gotten like the most popularity, and they're just riding the coattails of that. I mean, there's nobody's being blindfolded or having the wool pulled over their eyes. We understand that that's what they're doing.
Right.
But like I said, the biggest thing that I see that separates them is the people who actually pick and choose stuff that they have background info on. So,
Right.
okay, so to kind of close this out, if you could have a one-on-one with one of the content creators who made one of these videos about hating reaction channels, who would you choose and what would you say to them?
uh, you know what? There's only one person that I really would want to talk to. I'll give you two, but because all the other people I've actually, ironically, I've tried to get in contact with all of them, to just kind of state my case and let them know that, look, not all reaction channels are bad. Maybe it's just your thing to do. I've even tried to get in contact with Drama Alert, but maybe he just wants somebody to blow up and cuss out all these other channels or whatever. He wants a good fight, basically, not someone like
Yeah.
kind of relaxed and shit. But I've talked to Grade A several times. I just talked to him a few days ago in regards to this Tyrone Magnus drama and shit, and I see what position he stands on, respectively. But there's only two other people that would want to talk to. Would probably be Boogie is one of them, because I read Boogie's tweets sometimes, and I know he's been debating whether or not he wants to get into this fun thing of shitting on reaction channels right now, because a lot of reactors.
Which he shouldn't, because dude, I love Boogie. Boogie's awesome. He's great, but he's a reactor.
He just did. I was so shocked about that with the Fine Brothers. Like, I myself was able to carry a conversation.
But he's a reactor. Like, I mean, like no matter what you're gonna say, like if you go back
That's
to
a good
his
point.
video, he's a reactor.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, he actually
And Francis is just a comical reactor.
Yeah. He may
Like,
he may not show the video, but that was one of the things. It's like he may not show a video, but he reacts to every game news or whatever. But that's what made me, I almost fucking shit myself when I saw the Fine Brothers, his reaction to the Fine Brothers React World, and he played the entire video. He paused it, but he played the entire video and commented on it and said it was fair use. I'm like, okay, then wait. Oh shit, I dropped my butt. I got too excited. But so I was like, wait a second. It's fair use when you do it, but it's not fair use when other people play it, pause it,
yeah,
or whatever, like showing it. You still, I don't care if you cut it up you or paused it, you still showed it in its entirety. I'm like, wait a second, there's something wrong here. Like, I was with people's critique of things. I Hate Everything was very good about this, was saying there's no reason you need to show the entire video, which I completely agree with his statement on that, on for certain videos and such. When it's music stuff or trailers, it gets a little tricky. But
well, yeah, those are so short anyway. I mean, if you don't show the whole trailer, they're like 2 minutes max. Like, come on.
right, exactly. So there's so I agree with him on that side. But the point I was
Boogie
going,
and who else? You said there's one more.
Boogie,
There's
yes,
one more. I
thank
want
you,
to know
thank you.
that other one.
PewDiePie.
Oh,
Because he's the one that started it all. He's the one that when those words came out of his mouth, it just launched this a stratosphere of other bigger YouTubers. Like, God damn, maybe
okay.
I'm
So
yeah.
that brings up a really good question. You said that he started to get into reaction.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he should make a retraction of his comment now that he's actually doing the thing that he said he despised? Because if he's doing now, like if his friend challenged him and he's like, okay, I'm going to try that. Oh, now I'm doing that. I mean, do you think he's not being self-aware enough that he doesn't realize that that's what he's actually doing now? Or do you think like he's not
I don't
in
know.
deep enough?
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I think that's where their excuses is like it's not the majority of their channel. Like that. Like they have other stuff, and that's what this kind of other kind of, I shouldn't say bullshit, but like this like kind of,
you get into like bullshit semantics. Then it's like,
well, no, but
1/10 of my videos are reaction, so I'm not a
but
reaction
see, that's
channel.
exactly what, when a lot of these butthurt like reactors, when they got called out on their shit, they started doing other things of like, okay, wait, let me start doing more let's plays, and let me start doing
Jinx Reload.
let me start doing these lame ass skits, or like, I started seeing all these like other people popping up with these like secondary channels. I'm like, God damn, you all are really getting like, they must have really affected you hard, that you really must have felt like you were doing something wrong, that you feel like now you got to really change it up a lot. There's only one person that I think responded to it really well, and that was I'm Dante, and he's always been like in the middle of this situation. Like he kind of gets both sides, but he actually started putting in cuts and edits and spending more time, and he found a
so
medium.
He actually did kind of better himself because of these videos.
Yeah,
so
where everybody else just bitched and complained and said, "You're just jealous of my success." But in the end, it was like, why would they be jealous? Because who the hell would want to be you?
Okay, well, like yeah. I could see where maybe they would say that to like a smaller channel that was attacking them. But I mean, Grade A is almost 1 million right now. I don't see how jealousy would be an issue.
Right. Yeah. Well, but to be fair, at the time he was only like at 70,000.
Yeah, that's true. After he didn't really get big until Drama Alert shouted him out for the Nicole Arbor thing.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
But yeah, but PewDiePie would be PewDiePie would just be the dude I would want to talk to, because I just because I feel like he's the only one with any significant enough power to, maybe not even that, to really make things change. Because I do believe no, I personally still I know it's not a popular thought, and people kind of hate the fact that even though I'm a reactor, I'm actually, and it sometimes looks like I'm against reactors, but I do feel
I wouldn't say that. I would say you're just one of the most balanced ones. I would say when the Fine Brothers came out with this announcement about React World, you and Boogie made 2 of the most balanced reaction videos I saw on YouTube. And I watched a ton. Like I watched almost everybody's I possibly could.
God damn.
All right. From like criticals, just cussing them out nonstop, to like everybody in between. Like I watched all of them, and I would have to say between you and Boogie, especially yours was incredibly balanced, where you called out the audience at the end. I thought that was really important. Boogie doesn't do that. He doesn't actually be like, look, you guys are part of the reason of this. Like, and you're right. Like now finally people are speaking up. I get it. I understand. I'm with them. I'm speaking up too. We made a video about it. But yeah, they've kind of been part of the problem too. Like not like when you see your favorite people get hit with copyright strikes, help fight that. Don't help fight formats. Like
Right,
Fine Brothers
right.
wants you to
Oh,
do.
wait, because that's the thing. I feel like there is something definitely broken. Like I said, I really don't want. I really wish Content ID would actually beef up, because then a lot of these people, these cancerous reactors that fucked it up for all of us, and made it harder for us to wake up every goddamn morning and sit and edit our favorite TV shows for our fans, made it really hard for us, to do that, because when we'll upload, it'll be like, your channel is cancer, die faggot. It's like, so I feel like there is something broken, and I really want these types of people, opportunists, to be weeded out so we can get back to the way it was, or just some sort of format. So that's why I feel like, PewDiePie would probably be the only person I could talk to within YouTube, or kind of within that
Well,
world.
not only that, if you got to talk to him, you would be talking to the face of YouTube, the only
Yeah,
face that we have that represents YouTube, because YouTube itself is a faceless
yeah, it is.
organization
It is. And
that
we're
just
all, yeah.
ignores
So
it
yeah.
ignores its audience, it ignores its creators, it ignores everything. I would love for them to come out and prove me wrong. I'd love someone to step forward and be like, I am the person who never answers you. I am YouTube, like that would be great. Then we could see people like Channel Awesome, like not
we,
get screwed over.
in some way, we are all paying pendants to some internet god that we don't even know. Like, YouTube, in a sense, is a deity. Basically, we are putting
Yeah.
we are putting stuff in daily to this.
Yeah, he
This
is
is a,
our
yeah.
invisible sky daddy. YouTube
It
is our invisible
basically,
sky
yeah,
daddy.
it
Yeah.
really is. But yeah, so I just feel like, I'm happy the controversies are happening, because this is nothing new for me. This is something I've been fucking screaming my head off for the longest time, and I've been tried to be really nice and unbiased about it, and not, kind of leave a lot of names out of my mouth and shit of these shit channels. But at the same time, this format is so fucked up, so it really doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what reactors think. It really doesn't matter what YouTubers think. In the end, Google, aka YouTube, gets 45% of all of our earnings. So until there becomes a problem there, and if anything, all this controversy does is get more ad revenue for YouTube, aka Google. But until there's some sort of thing, until we get another big, all this basically is, it's just another version of the gamer let's play problem that for a long time, until a few years ago, until Content ID was introduced, let's plays were all over the place, and there was a problem there. So it's just
and by the way, Sony tried to own Let's
yes,
Play.
yes. And so we need things to get bad, really bad, and we need something until some other form of some other medium can control. And if YouTube can't get their shit together and restrict these reaction channels more, or give them more limits, I get limits every day, man. Like, HBO emails me, Warner talks to me, and they're like, look, we like what you're doing, we know you're a fan, you just need to figure out a better format that doesn't show the entire TV show or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got
okay.
it.
Okay.
So I've worked with these Sony talks to me, and so I know there's an audience for reaction channels. There are people, and there's a room to be, but we haven't gotten to that point where the let's plays have got, where there's a Twitch, where there's like other formats where let's play. So that's basically where we need to get to that point, because I don't think reaction channels will never go away, but I definitely think that they need to be regulated where people can stop taking advantage of it, like the Hong Kong bootleggers. The same thing with music, dude. Napster, all these P2P file sharing sites, and then we were introduced to iTunes and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So
what you're saying is don't bring the hate, bring evolution.
Yeah, but sometimes through hate, it inspires evolution. Sometimes you need these knee-jerk reactions, and like I think React World was one of the greatest issues, or one of the greatest points in this ongoing thing, to see that there's kind of people are trying to capitalize on it, but people,
I think the most beautiful thing that came out of the React World thing was that we could see there was power in numbers. That finally, even though YouTube tries not to give us a voice, we have one as a community. And we said, a big F you to React World, and it was finally retracted. Like they, they never really, I don't think they ever really released a video that was like, dude, we really screwed up. They just had that tiny little memo that was like, whoops, like that was it.
Yeah, but see, that's also that's also the shame. And like I said in my videos, like I don't think the idea, the concept of React World wasn't a bad thing. It's just the monetization part, the extra monetization part was the part that bothered me a lot.
Yeah.
So
but
it was
you're
like,
totally right. It wasn't a bad thing. What
nah.
was bad was the semantics of the format that they said. They said people blatantly copy our format. We want to own that format. But the problem when you say something like that is by how much and what means does that mean? That's so vague. It's like, okay, so if I have a segue that's slightly like yours, you can knock my video down. If I do the same video as you, my video gets knocked down. If I have the word React in there, my video gets knocked down. Like, you can't, unless you say like and what we mean is every step by step, everything is exactly the goddamn same. And then we understand. Then we're like, oh, you mean just don't try to pretend you're fine brothers. That's what you mean. But they didn't say that. They didn't become clear enough. And then even their update videos like, hey, you dummies, we're going to just say the same thing again because you're too dumb. Go back to school. Like, like that's all their update video was. And it made people even angrier. Like, they're just like, no, you motherfuckers, you're not explaining what you mean by control your format and like boycott other people who copy it.
And like I said in my video, we live now in the privilege of the fact that we do have YouTube studios all around the world now, and it doesn't take much to set up a little Fine Brothers booth in each of these studios and, go in, and if they have something they need people to do, you can pull people from around the world now to help out with your videos. But to sit there and ask other people to basically make videos and put your name on it, which actually wasn't, you couldn't use any of their logos that they do in their shows. You would be using their B product manufactured React World logos. And so basically,
but they even only came out with those after people complained that you're not giving us anything.
No. In the original,
the original fact, like they changed it later. Like the original one was like, as of right now, we're not going to be giving out. And then later, like the next day when they did that update video, they changed the fact and it said, yeah, we're working on logos and stuff for you.
Really?
Yeah. So it's even more despicable.
That's what I took from it. I was like, wait, so I can't use any of your logos, but you just want me to give you 50% of my earnings, which is already cut up by my MCN. And so I'm going to be working even. Yeah, it was just, yeah.
It was bullshit. And then they tried to be like, no, it's like joining a franchise. If you join Burger King, then you can use the Burger King name and everything. And it was like, yeah, but we can't use your name, but we can't use your logos. Oh yeah, you just changed the fact today because you realized how fucking stupid that was. But before you made it so that we could open up a restaurant just as long as we empty the till into your pockets, but we can't call it part of your restaurant chain. Like that. They used an analogy that they weren't even actually doing. That was even like more frustrating. It was just like, dude, guys, come on. Like, you're a big corporation now. Act like it if you want to try and do something like this. Be very careful with what you say and how you handle these things.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I like, we need these kind of upsets, and we do. We need these upsets to establish a better order. I mean, it needs to get out of control in order for some sort of format to be introduced. And so these
to check a checklist system. That's
basically
what YouTube is.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. And I guess that's the ugly beauty of it as well, is the fact that we can do almost anything we want within some rules and regulations, and things get tried. And we'll see what happens in the future, but I hope things will get better for everybody, basically, because I don't think it's as bad as people think it is. But at the same time, I completely understand why it's annoying for some people, because I've been dealing with this now for almost a year of this problem. Right. Yeah. There you go.
Somebody has a problem with every aspect of every video on YouTube. So I mean, it's part of being a public figure on YouTube.
But anyway, questions? Yeah. All right. I know you posted something.
Should we draw it into a close? So, because we're going over an hour here now, so people will probably like, shut up.
Yeah, if that's the case, you have never seen the Red Dreaded Nation. We stand real strong in these. I've gone very, very long. We can do quick questions, and sure. I apologize for the people that are watching.
Oh shoot, there was a bunch of people asking questions. Sorry.
No, but it's not that. It's like, I actually apologize to the people that are watching right now that can't do a live chat. Like, I tried to do the live chat. Like, I tried.
It's not you. It's
Oh,
it's
so you
Google. It's
passed.
not you. I've had the same problem all the time, guys. Whatever he's done, he's probably done it exactly the right way. I constantly have this problem too. There's some kind of huge problem with the Google Chat system.
Okay, because I tried to no, well, it's like I tried to I activated the live chat and like
Hmm.
nothing like there's like
Nothing.
I'm checking the watch page and like nobody like people are like,
Hmm.
hey, how come I can't chat? So they're just leaving
Yep.
comments. So if that's
Yep.
the case, if you have any questions, guys, please I don't know, leave it somewhere else. Like just put
Maybe
it in
we
the
can do a follow-up video later if this does well.
maybe that's probably the best one. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's wrap it up at this point then.
Yeah.
All right. Did anybody send anything on your Facebook thing or whatever?
There were a couple. Let's actually keep those. There was two actually questions, but they're really long. Like they're like
Really?
asking, yeah, they're like asking opinions of like comparing Nagoya, Sapporo, and Fukuoka. What would you say is like, and that would go on forever if we compared those. So we
God
could
damn.
do that for like another hour alone.
All right,
So maybe we should keep that for another Thursday, a Japanese Thursday, like you said.
I like that. Let's do for another Japan Thursdays. Let's go ahead. If you guys have any questions that you would like Akasan or Unrested to answer, and we probably should try to get Victor in on this as well. So that'd be kind of
Yeah,
cool.
we could get Victor in on too if you guys watch the bigger ones. The Give Me a Break, Give Me
Yeah.
a Flake Man, Victor.
Either you and him have actually been a lot of inspirations for like that's a whole nother story about trying to be a YouTuber and J vlogger or whatever here in Japan. But there's a lot of limitations and especially financially that we have to go through. And I always look to you and Victor as a like inspiration in terms of how can I make my room green or like how can I have a studio within Japan when it's so definitely yeah, we should try to get all three of us together. If you guys have any questions about that Japan related, please leave them in the comments below and I'll have to figure out what's up with this live chat thing in the future. We'll see. Maybe next time I'll just you now it's a whole nother different app and people can ask questions like that.
Oh, okay, that'd be good.
Cool. All right, man. Hey.
If you liked what you saw here today, please check out the Unrested channel. I answer all your questions about Japan. Thank you so much.
Yeah, link in the description below. Great guy. He actually updates more than I do usually with some really good stuff. Sometimes I'll just put on Unrested's videos in the background and just listen to him talk while I'm editing because I really enjoy him and Victor. So you guys definitely check out his channel. And of course, you know where mine is. Okay. Till next time, I'll see you guys about Japan next week. Peace. Thank you, Unrested.
See ya.
Peace.
Thank you.